Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. I know this is super late, but I've explained over and over, so you can check on the channel update if you are curious as to why this is so late, and the May ones will be coming out shortly. So, for this video, we're talking about the April RPGs of 2024. I got 7 games for you. Most, if not all, are already out by the time this video comes out, and some of them have definitely not hit very well, but I'm not gonna just change my list because they didn't go well. This has never been the best RPGs coming out. It's just kind of a list of RPGs that I think either look interesting or have some promise. So yeah, here we go. First up is Broken Roads. Broken Roads is a newly developed indie CRPG set in the Australian outback. Well, a post-apocalyptic version, that is. With an inventive morality system that will have long-lasting effects, bonds with characters that will heavily impact your story, and choices that change the landscape of the world you're playing in. Broken Roads definitely has my attention. The graphics look awesome, and its version of tactical turn-based combat looks intense and satisfying, especially if you've already taken down the heavy hitters from the beginning of this year or are looking for something a little different. Broken Roads is worth a look. It's out for PC only April 10th. Obviously that's already done, and a little note here at the end, this one has not landed well. Most reviewers saying that the story has not been good, that the morality system did not land, and that the combat was clunky. So, you can judge for yourself, but this is probably going to be a wait and see if it gets better down the road for me. Next up is early access into No Rest for the Wicked. Now, I'm pretty skeptical about adding early access titles on lists like this, though I have done it a few times, I believe, but I definitely feel like it can bite me in the butt as the games are, by design, not finished. But with them doing that on purpose, knowing that they're trying to fix it, I think if the game looks promising enough, it might be worth it to be on a list like this, especially if you want to give your feedback and have the developers hear what you have to say and possibly put it into the final product. No Rest for the Wicked is a new action RPG from the makers of Ori. I think it looks incredible. The combat is much weightier than any of us were expecting, so it's kind of like mixing Diablo with like Soulsborne-ish, which I think has some real promise. The final product is going to come to all the console, well, PS5 and Xbox as well as PC, but of course the early access is limited to PC. Also, this one did come out the 18th, and it also landed with some pretty harsh criticism, but the developers have been on there saying that their goal is to take this, what I think it was 58% positive on Steam, to turn it into a 90. So they are aware of issues, and I mean, that is what early access is for. So if they can take it and move it forward and actually, do the things that need to be done to make this a good game, I think there is a lot of promise there and some good possibilities. So again, I don't typically jump into early access, not because I'm against it, but just there are so many games to play that I don't have enough time for that it doesn't make sense to jump into something that's not ready yet. But if that is something you are interested in, that is going on right now. Okay, next up is Tales of Kenzera Zhao. This is coming out or has come out now for all platforms. It came out on April 23rd. Now, I know that it's a Metroidvania and not necessarily an RPG. Different people have different views on that, but to me it is a close enough, it has so many similarities that I include them. Plus, I just like them. So yeah, this one is from Abubakar Salim. This guy is incredible. I highly suggest that you go look up all of his different interviews, or at least one. He has a really great one with PlayStation Access, another great one with the Friends Per Second podcast, which you can find on SkillUp's channel. So there's options, but just go look up some. He's absolutely incredible. I definitely connected with him just on his little announcement at the Game Awards, and have been very much looking forward to his game since then. I think the game looks incredibly vibrant and alive, with what he's been talking about in all his interviews and how he's put together, it promises an emotionally charged story with the strong cultural Bantu influences and an awesome combat system to boot. I'm super excited for Kenzera. I'll definitely be trying to fit it in among the mass of games that I just don't have time for, but I just love the look and the idea of this, and to have a emotional and strong story in a Metroidvania is usually pretty lacking. So I'm very, very excited to jump into this one. Next up is Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, which again has come out for everything April 23rd. It also is a day one Game Pass. This is supposed to be like a Suikoden successor that we've all been craving for many, many years. Unfortunately, the man responsible for this, Yoshitaka Murayama, passed away before he could see it launch. But his part was done, and now we get to experience his final creation. 100 Heroes looks awesome. I love the art. The characters all look super cool. The battle system looks stylish and artistic. Everything I've seen, including the prequel Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, I have loved. So, interesting turn-based battles or a story with a bunch of characters is in your interest wheelhouse, then 100 Heroes is absolutely one to try. I definitely am going to be doing it on Game Pass, even though I'd love to pick it up physically. Just money-wise doesn't make sense. But this one, again, has a pretty good reception, but somewhat mediocre. It's in the high 70s ratings-wise, which doesn't necessarily mean a lot. That's the same as Tales of Kenzera. I still think it looks up my alley. So, more than likely, I'm going to play this one after I'm done with Kenzera, which I'm starting, hopefully, today. So, at least as a recording. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. So, if that's something you are interested in, definitely check that one out. Next up is Saga Emerald Beyond. Now, the Saga games have not all been super great. They tend to fit more in the mediocre category, depending on the player, of course. But I have some fond memories of Saga Frontier, and I think Emerald Beyond has some promise. I don't think anyone should go into it thinking it's going to be Game of the Year or anything, but it could definitely be a fun romp on the side when you need something not too serious. Saga comes out on everything except Xbox, which makes sense as it probably wouldn't sell anything, though I don't know how happy Phil Spencer is with that since he's been courting Square Enix for so long. But it launches April 25th, which is today as of recording. Honestly, probably a good game to get on sale, or when it eventually makes its way to like a subscription service. If it does, anyway. But if you love the series, then go for that day one pickup. Also, again, extra note here, after time, the reviews for this one have actually been pretty good. It's been 80 to 82 almost everywhere. And so this one actually looks to be even better than I expected, which is awesome. So probably, again, not one I'm getting right away. Too many games to play, but I will be looking into this one down the road. It has definitely piqued my interest. Alright, coming up next is Stellar Blade. This is a indie title, kind of, out of Shift Up, who's from Korea, and it's picked up a ton of traction. It certainly started with the assets that the main character brings, but it has stayed in the spotlight thanks to its intentional and satisfying combat, sharp parrying mechanics, and a gameplay loop that feels good to play. The characters all look really great. The developers obviously have played into that, giving tons of outfits for you to collect, but I think the intricacy of the combat is what has won so many players over. Stellar Blade is a PS5 exclusive and arrives on the platform April 26th, which hopefully is when this video is going live, so it's already out. But again, this game is getting quite a bit of acclaim. Apparently, a lot of the reviews say the story sucks and the characters are kind of one note, but that the game plays really well and is fun, so probably worth a look. And then last up is the last game from the late Akira Toriyama, Sandland. This game is truly his aesthetic, with the machines that he loved so much, mixed with interesting characters. I have no idea what the plot or gameplay loop is here, but if you're a Toriyama fan, I think you'll enjoy this. It's kind of like Dragon Ball with mechs, at least from my point of view, but your main character is this weird little demon guy. I don't know what's going on. It honestly is probably not my cup of tea. As much as I think Toriyama has a cool art style, it's not my favorite, and I'm not real keen on playing a little demon kid. So, I know a lot of people will probably like this one, and if that's you, Sandland launches on all platforms except the Switch, April 26th. But it's probably not for me. Video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, hit the dislike if not. If you're new around here, smack that subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and good hunting.